Ahoy everyone, and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. Now again, I played a couple cycles off screen to try to get a little bit of work done. I actually have my natural gas generators working. Several of the gas reservoirs that are set up in line are filled, and we are actually... That's not what I want. I want ventilation. Can see that we have our natural gas flowing through here, and most of our power is now coming from these bad boys. They're hooked up into the automation grid, and if we watch this, it's up to 35%, so when it gets a little bit lower, they should kick on. Yeah, there we go. I am going to go ahead and disable this so they stop tuning it up. I've disabled that, so I'm going to leave on one coal generator, the wood burner, and 2 of these. And that should keep us going for quite a while. So I set up this gas pump here. Hopefully it will suck up all of the, not polluted oxygen, natural gas that kind of accumulated towards the top. And then I've set up another one down below that should suck up all this stuff down here. We also have ourselves a copper volcano. Figured that there's no harm in letting it go off. It'll give us a nice steady supply of copper. The next thing I would like to get set up was to continuing exploring north, see if we can hit the space. We do have a nice little oily biome over here, so we can grab the fossils. I don't know what I can do with diamonds. I honestly don't remember what they are used for. There might be an oil reservoir in there. The fossils will be useful for steel production. Keep going up. And the other thing to do is to finish the analysis of this, build a nice little box around it to vent off the natural gas into, and then get our last pump set up there. And then I can get rid of these bad boys. I haven't set these up on an automation grid or anything like that. All they're doing is, as the gas is kind of naturally floating around, they're going to suck up the doodles. So, that is settled. We actually have a mildly renewable source of power. We're not going to have to constantly scramble. Oh, and we're strip mining still. There is also a little guy down here. I don't remember if I've looked to see what it is yet, but we are going to find out sooner. Sooner rather than later, because, well, you know what? Let's find out now. Let's set this up. Let's tell them to go ahead and take care of all that. See what we can't find in there. We've got 2 carbon skimmers down here now. Hopefully they will help get rid of the carbon dioxide in the base. Because what's happening is the carbon dioxide is kind of built up on this quadrant. And then all this chlorine is built up on top of that. I'm thinking what we can do is if we really reduce the carbon footprint in the base, that'll lower the chlorine down, and then I can put a pump down there. I could probably put a pump somewhere. Probably, no, it might be best over here, might be best over there. Not really sure at the moment. But right now, everything's looking pretty good. We've got a nice big base set up here. I threw down a bunch of deodorizers to purify all the oxygen that's just kind of floating around here. 14 people, not gonna bring in any more. Arbor acorn, though. Plant that bad boy. Oh, you know what we could do? We don't need, we could, I'm not going to have that many arbor acorns. I could probably move these into this one up here. Be nice if these were a little bit bigger. Or just move them all over to the left here. You know, it's funny how tall the base has gotten comparatively. This used to be way up top. Now it's kind of in the way. Be nice if I could just move like the farms over to this side and then get a cooling system set up over there. I was thinking of maybe cooling down the polluted water and pumping that around to act as a cooling feature. That's doable. Now that I actually am producing a lot of power. Oh, you know what else we should do? Get rid of these less efficient batteries. Oh, and I did set them to... Oh, ooh, that's useful. Oh, I can make use of that. Hang on, yeah. Mine that whole thing out. Not too hot down here, too, so we can keep exploring. Not bad. Yeah, polluted oxygen. Oh, and there's some fossils down here, too. I think it's kind of a shame that we're basically just grinding up the fossils. We're not, you know, they're fossils, they're rare, they're precious, but no, we're just gonna grind them up. Polluted oxygen, I definitely can make use of that. Put a pump there, pump it into a little chamber, purify it in that chamber, then pump it out of that chamber and into the base. Free oxygen. Just cost me a little bit of power. Probably do it with less power. What I could probably do is make it, if I want to do it with less power, make a channel, like, straight down, and then, like, straight up over here. And then, like, pop some some filters on top of it. Oh, you know what would end up happening, though, is the carbon dioxide would eventually drain down there. Maybe straight up. Yeah, I could do it, like, this way. Like, make a chimney up this way and kind of over to, like, here. And then a couple purifiers. And then it would produce polluted oxygen. It would float up. And then it would be forced through the deodorizers into the base. How hot is it over here? Oh, my. Yeah, it's warm. It's quite warm indeed. Ooh, I wanted to turn... Ooh, we have a Dreco there. Yeah, no. Right now, we're gonna do some other things here. We'll put in a grooming station. Put in a thingy. And I think it's under stations. Putting a shearing station in there too. Alright, let's get rid of this bad boy. I think attempting to make a glossy Dreco farm would be perfect. Over here, all we would need to do, block that off. We're good to go. And theoretically, okay. What I'm gonna do is, how do I want to do it? We'll put a regular door in, and then a regular tile there. And then what'll happen, because we need hydrogen in the top and oxygen in the bottom. And now that I'm thinking about this, food, put in a couple farm tiles down here. I have no idea how many we logically will need for this. But we'll get it started. There's plenty of oxygen here. It's a little warm. We're definitely going to have to work on a cooling system. Should wait for those to finish before I did that. A couple extra clicks. We'll wrangle up the Drecos and put them in there. I don't think they'll... I don't know if they'll starve to death or just not produce if they don't have anything to graze on. Well, it's not bad. Looks like some of the stuff can grow in there. So what we're going to do is... Dreco. Where is that bad boy? There he is. Wrangle him. Wrangle him. Here. Do I have any Dreco eggs? I have a lot of... I've got a lot of different eggs, and I do have a Dreclet egg. Incubate him in there. Power. Okay, how's the power looking on a bunch of these lines? It's not as bad as my power lines normally look. That's 1.2 on this, which is a little high. But some of those are unplugged. This line's only 600. But I think I'll leave that for... This one's only 720. So I could plug those last things into that. That'll be fine, actually. And I am definitely going to have to worry about... What's it called? Temperature. It's pretty warm. It's not that bad. And yeah, and these are body temperature. And disable harvest on those. See if we can make ourselves a Dreco farm, and maybe, if we're lucky, we'll upgrade it. Ooh, here we go, another one. A glossy Dreco farm in the future. I'm sorry that your meals are terrible. I apologize. Ooh, and we should definitely keep the insulated tile. What's going on? What is this attached to? I don't even know what that's attached to. Nothing. It's attached to literally nothing. Deconstruct that. Keep these little tiles going here. Maybe put a door in the top here so that they can go in and out quickly. But for now, it's okay. Whenever I want to get some more hydrogen, we can just turn these on. The easiest thing to do would probably be to bottle up some hydrogen. And then just put an unbottler in there and tell them to release it. Oh, and this is not plugged in, is it? Should be wires, like, right nearby. Oh, they're just... You know what? I don't think they can get to that one. And this should be set to natural gas. If anything, in the future, I'll probably want, like, double this storage. Did we finish the analysis? We did! Okay, so this isn't going to be active for a while. About 32 more cycles. But, thankfully, I very purposely opened its cavern up into a large area because I knew I was in a disaster zone. So, the point was to just let it vent as much of the production as it possibly could out into all these areas. Oh, I'm so glad we found this. You know what? Now that we're actually here, just have them. I'm gonna need it for later. I'm gonna have them start mining out this way. I know I'm gonna need that later, and strip mine the algae and slime for later too. Which actually wouldn't be. Well, we got 9 tons of slime, so that's not going. That's not being processed very quickly. Why don't we go ahead and yeah, let's just make another one of these, and it'll be very simple to plug in. And then we just need a little liquid output right there. All is fine. Got a lot of slime, not a lot of algae. I think I am gonna... Should we just deconstruct these? Oh, and we are gonna put that arbor acorn in, if I can find him. Got another one of those. I really want this done, like, ASAP. So, please and thank you. Take care of that. I think that one of the next things I'd like to take care of would be all the chlorine in the base. Anybody? Anybody want to take care of this? Anybody at all? I'd appreciate it. Nobody? Yellow alert, friends. See? So I'd really like to start getting some of that crap out. This is still grabbing it, isn't it? As it flows down, because I'm pretty sure it's heavy. It's still grabbing plenty. Yeah, I know, we're fucking low on food. Well, if we're that low on food, I think what we might need to do is tell them to start making mush bars again. And I'm just not going to be making very much food until we take care of the temperature problem, so we're just going to have to suck that down for a while. Do you guys know what yellow alert means? I don't even think I don't even need that one. They can reach it from there. I'm feeling like there might be a little, oh, there we go. There we go. All right, thank you. Good, and that's just, I'm shooting everything else out right there. All right, so that's just going to help fill up these tanks. We're gonna make mush bars for a while. There's just, yeah, it's too hot. Now, a decent cooling system will be important here. These guys are getting... I could probably do away with these thimble reeds. Here, let's... How do I want to... How do you do... I don't even know how to do the bottler thing. Canister filler. We might be able to just... You know what? Now that I think about it, we might be able to do it naturally without any... With no, like, you know, what's it called? Like human intervention. Let's just put an airflow tile in there. Put a couple airflow tiles around. Yeah, we already got a little bit in there. And just let it naturally flow up. And because that's a screen door, it should only fill up the top layer. And then the rest should be able to, then it should overflow out and just end up here. The airflow tiles on this side will just help it a little bit. And with time, it'll just fill up. And hopefully, these guys don't die horrible, horrible deaths. Yes, eat your mud. It's fried salted mud, so it's yeah, this is actually working. As the carbon dioxide's taken care of, the chlorine's getting pumped out into the basement. Now, we could either just pump the chlorine somewhere we don't, you know, somewhere else. Just throw it out. Or we can deal with it. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I forgot that we had all this down here. Oh my, what are you coming down here for? Picking up 100 kilograms of copper. You came all that way for 100 kilograms of copper. Okay, fine. You do you. Because our food situation for 14 people is awful. How many eggs do we have? We have 9 critter eggs. That's a few. It's not a lot. Alright, what do we got? Some pufflet eggs. We'll print those out. I mean, I guess we could eat a couple eggs. That is doable. Got this canister that's been sitting here for ages. We put a canister filler, you know, so we don't... yeah, I guess that could work. Just throw a canister filler in. There's nothing in the basement we need. Yeah, why don't we just... That's probably the easiest way to do it. How much power does this use? Sorry. 240. Oh, it requires a gas intake. It's not just gonna do it itself, so yeah. We need a pump down there. I think that's how that works. Can I just dump it? What's the pressure down here? It's not that high pressure. I can just dump it out below the base for now. That's an option. Although, man, it is a rather heavy gas. Some of it, you know, that's not a good... That's not a good way to deal with it. It's definitely not a good way of dealing with it. Ideally, either dumping it out at the top of the base would be better, because eventually we'll hit space. Oil well there as well. Oil well as well. What we're going to need is, I don't even think do we even have it yet? Industrial? No. I want plastic. And I'm not going to be making plastic, I don't think so anytime soon, because I've never made it. I've only ever grown it. We'll figure it out as we go. Yeah, low on food. But that's not a big deal. Should we just get rid of the desalinator? We have a salt water tank down here. We're not using the desalinator anymore. We were using it before to get water. We have water. I think I'm going to get rid of it. Let's deconstruct this, deconstruct that. Don't really need that anymore. Not really a good way of getting rid of this. Oh, I've got a pump hooked up to it. I could... Ooh, sorry, that was my desk. Pump doesn't go very far. Well, right now, it technically goes nearly to there. I just tell him to dump it in the salt water tank. It would be a bit of a circuitous route to get there. But I could tell him to pump it into there, and I could use it later for something. Here, let's go ahead and do that. And then all it would need would be... Let's get rid of those nubs. Plumbing. That up. And that'll pump this water out. I'll slowly get rid of it. That'll free up this room for me to use, because that is what I want. I want to be able to utilize this room. And I wasn't necessarily anticipating using this area for a very long time, but very long time has come. So now we need it. Oh, is he not plugged in? It's not. And the chlorine is definitely an issue now. Okay, so we have lots of power. I'm also gonna have to deal with the dribbles from the natural gas generators. Right now, I'm just dumping them in a hole. It's not gonna last forever. I'm trying to think about power consumption as well as we're doing this. The wild poke shell molts are getting gathered up and turned into lime. I'll use that later for making steel. These guys are turning my slime into algae for oxygen production. That's good. I think a little bit more oxygen production lower in the base would be ideal. And maybe another one of these bad boys right down here. Kind of what I want. Let's see, this power line can handle it. There is water right here. Oh, and we're missing a bridge. That in right there. Okay, we're doing better. This base started out good. Got worse, got better, got way worse, then got better again. Yeah, temperature. Okay. Let's go ahead and what I'm gonna do here. These guys poop out phosphorite. I'm gonna uproot this one so because he's not really doing much. Not doing too much. I'm gonna put 2 Weezeworts in here and see if that cools the area down around them enough for me to be able to grow in here so that these guys have food. We got 3 of them now. It's a good start. Just gotta get that we gotta wait for the hydrogen to kind of flow in there, which you can already see it's getting there. And theoretically, once it's in here, it'll just fill up the top and won't go anywhere. I think this one could probably be turned off for a while. And have them disable that building. No power, really? What? Oh, you know what? That line might be overloaded. Might have just been a temporary thing. Let's say, just checked. We got plenty. Okay, so, Weezewort, plant. Weezewort, plant. Thank you, guys. So these bad boys should produce some fertilizer for those bad boys. In theory. If I didn't mess it up. Keep strip mining while we're here. And eventually what we'll be able to do is once the Draco population goes up. Ooh, how did you get in there? Once the Draco population goes up, we'll just eat them. We turn that one off. Good. Yeah, there's barely any over here. There's barely anything over here. So, the next thing to do, I think, would probably be to take care of this. Get him a little, well, okay, yeah, this will be fine. Here. All we're gonna need down here is a gas pump right there. An airlock right here. And a little room for him. A little room around him. Ideally, I would like that room to be much larger. So that if there's overflow, it can handle it. But we could always make this bigger. This gas is pretty light, or pretty heavy. So it'll naturally want to flow down towards the base of the room. Oh, and do I have automation set up here? Right there. Plug that in there. We are going to, thankfully we already have most of these lines run all the way up here, so that's not going to be too, too terribly difficult. It's a little light on the bottom of the base. See the hydrogen starting to build up in here a little bit. Wow, that's interesting. Oh, you know, that looks like the break point between, yeah. Is it, yep. I was about to say, is it because there's a deodorizer right here? Right there, it's causing these bands of breathable and non-breathable air. Well, breathable air and polluted air. Which reminds me. Yeah, this guy's choking out the polluted oxygen. Whoa, yeah, there it is. Alrighty, I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is... let's put in an airflow tile. Right there. And then I'm just gonna go like this. We're gonna go oxygen, we're gonna go deodorizer. And we're gonna put in a little triangle of them there. There's a lot of carbon dioxide in here. That's just naturally gonna float towards the bottom. We will wanna actually open this up so it can flow easier. Make sure there's an actual, like, air shaft there. And then I could just leave this. Once that's constructed, I could just lock it open right now. Oxygen will flow in naturally. Carbon dioxide will have another place to vent out. Even maybe some of that what's it called there, the chlorine. That's a big dog butt. Yes, it is. That's the biggest dog butt in the world. Yes, my dog just came over. She likes to have her butt scritched. Those deodorizers require no power, just sand as a filtration medium. I mean, there's pretty much unlimited sand. Hey, some food. Not much, but some. We'll take it. How's that? Okay, the refrigerator's like a third full. Alright, the wheezeworts are wheezeworting. And it's looking... the ones directly adjacent are okay. I think maybe with a little bit of time, we'll be able to cool off the area enough. I think it's gonna take them a little while to deal with this. Oh, there's another Draco I can capture. Yeah, there is. I'm not sure what lead I would use for. I mean, it's got a low melting point. Guess that could be useful for something. But we'll go ahead and let them finish that up. It's got 27.8 cycles before it turns back on. So I'm not too concerned about that. This bad boy is just going to be just cranking out free oxygen for me. We already opened up the air shaft there. So the oxygen will pop in here. The chlorine already looks like it's trying to get out. So that should be a pretty hands-off way to get some more oxygen right there. Might even cool off a little bit. No, it's pretty warm in here. So it's gonna be, well, it's coming in at a pretty warm temperature, and it's a warm area right here. So it's gonna be pretty warm, but it's free oxygen. Maybe with a little bit of time, they'll be able to breathe in the power generation room. That'd be new. I haven't gotten to that point of the game where there's actual airflow in there. Is this not set up right? No, it's not. Apply settings. Battery. And now, what is your odds of producing a... Does it tell me? Thought it would say in here. Glum. Why are you glum? Oh, here we go. 13% chance of creating a glossy Dracolet egg. That's not bad. And with multiples of those guys in there, shouldn't theoretically take too many reproduction cycles before we actually have a little glossy Dracolet farm. It's gonna take them a long time to finish this unless I tell them to specifically focus on it. We're not really utilizing any of the hydrogen just now. You know what? Let's go ahead and turn this bad boy on. Nah, I'm gonna leave it for a while now. It's the hydrogen in there is not hurting anybody. Might let it flood the top of the base a little bit more before we bother turning it back on. You guys aren't cramped. No, they are cramped. See, you're 50 years old, so I'm gonna eat you. Or somebody's gonna get some barbecue. Oh, and there's a little fish here. Might as well eat the fish. We also have a lot of fungal spores, too. Now, I don't know if we've ever had fish yet, so we might have to come down here and tell them... Cooked fish. Okay, it's already on there. Good. I feel like the base is doing better. Did we ever rummage? I think we must have rummaged in here already. Ooh, who's scalding? Right here? He's carrying... really, really hot iron. Or copper. Oh boy. Oh, because... Oh, I wonder. Does the... Yeah, I think the volcano shoots out the copper at... You know, in its cleansed form. Well, I mean, it's hot. So there is that. I could flood it with water to try to cool it down a little more. It's not a bad idea, really. Here, I got an idea. We're gonna finish the idea up tomorrow, but I'll just build a tiny little pool around it and flood it with salt water. This we can already set up because it's built, right? What I'm going to do is I'm gonna pump all the gas out of here, and then I'll set it up to act, so I don't have to have 2 items on there. Once it's set up, I'll lock the door. I'll pump all the gas out of there, and then once it's complete, once it starts going off, it'll be empty in there. And then I just have to tell it to pump everything out. I don't have to worry about filtering it. I do have this cold biome. I really feel like we could utilize. It's a mess of a nightmare right now, but it is filled with a cool liquid. I definitely could utilize that for my cooling. I think, yeah, the farms really need. Oh yeah, it is. These guys are producing a lot of heat too. It is warm as fuck in here. We can definitely do that. Like a simple, we already got a pump up here, just a simple cooling system, that is. A simple cooling system. Just pump some cold water around, we'll keep the pipes insulated until they get down here, then just regular pipes through the doodles. I would love it if there wasn't multiple types of liquids in here. Yeah, but fuck me. Yeah, we kind of let it get all messed up in here. But theoretically, if this is staying as liquid, it shouldn't freeze in the pipes at any point, because all it's ever going to do is get warmer as it moves. Hey, look, there's oxygen in there. That's beautiful. Pure, breathable oxygen. Don't mind all the crap on the floor. You know what, you know what, maybe we could utilize some of these spaces over here for storage. Well, we have empty storage, we just never told them to sweep it up. Anyway, we're going to leave this episode right here. Thank you for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you've been enjoying the series, and I will see you all next time.